Live on Dallas Trading Floor. It's March, and the market seems to have rebounded a little bit. Wow, it's been really tough. I mean, it's been up and down and sideways, and boy, interesting. Uh, but it looks as if we may have rebounded a little bit. And for everybody out there, if you got my uh, my action trades, I put on a trade for I put on a trade today um, for Zoom, and also I put that out there, and I think it's doing pretty well. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, just let's get into the slides and see what's happening. Okay, well, it looks as if we are basically in a once we're back again. We're still in uptrend under pressure, but the NASDEQ is up, when this slide was taken, 2.66%. So pretty amazing. It's well over the 13,000 level, which is excellent. And it looks as if we may have just flirted with the 40-day, and we may be moving higher. So that is indeed a good thing. So also the S&P's up, Dow Jones is up, volume's down a little bit, but we seem to be, there seems to be there is a rotation going on, but many of the high flyers have pulled back to around they're below their 50-day, and some are bouncing off the 200-day. So that may give us some opportunity. I was basically getting into cash last week, so we'll see what happens this week to see if there's any if there's any light at the end of the tunnel here. So yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I'm looking. That's what I've been looking at. So just to give you kind of a look see, we've bounced off the 40-day moving average. We're up. We're right. We're right in the sweet spot. So it looks as if we may have tested. We tested here, it tested there. So hopefully this is just a test. And if that is, then we'll continue our uptrend. So, it's kind of good if this is the case, because we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, because that can cause problems down the road. But it's looking, at least for today, anyways, looking fairly good. I wanted to show you Apple. Apple has bounced significantly. It looks like it got some support at about 123, 124. It's up currently 127.60, up about $6. So there's some big buying that's come in here as well. I don't know if this means that it's going to move higher. Just can't tell with just one day, but we definitely see an uptrend in the relative strength line, which is a very good thing. Relative strength rate, of course, is 63, which is not bad, but what's more important is we're seeing this relative strength line move upward. So that is a very good sign. Just wanted to talk about the stock of the day. This is relatively interesting. I've owned this one several times, and I'm getting more used to it. If the Biden administration puts in renewable energy credits for electric vehicles, there are really two companies that are going to be benefiting the most. One, of course, is Tesla, but the other one is potentially GM. And it seems to have tested the 40-day line. There was a pullback, but it may go higher. It's actually it's rebounding above. It's retaking the 21-day line. And the growth is just strong, actually, in GM. And, of course, they're going to be coming out. They're going to probably have more electric vehicles than just about anyone except for Tesla. So definitely something to look at. In the small portfolio, I've been holding Ford as well. They are benefiting as well because of their position with the F-150. It seems like with the reopening, the automobile companies probably are looking to do pretty good. And it looks like the domestics basically over the foreign companies, which is very interesting because it hasn't been like that for many years for me. Let's see. Okay, well, the next item probably on the list is, if I can get the next. There's Apple. Okay. I want to show you the market volatility. It's been spiking a little bit. The market volatility has been spiking a little bit, and so it's a tough market to trade because we have had these volume spikes. I did close my hedge on the SQQQ this morning, as I saw from the futures that the NASDEQ was going to move today. So I closed it. I'm glad I did because it looks like the NASDEQ has been pretty bullish. So this week I'm still heavily in cash. I'm trying to find good targets that are basing to go into, but I've done mostly option plays right now, just because that seems to be working. Just kind of want to show you what I'm in currently. Of course, in the small portfolio, I'm in Ford. I'm also in Halliburton. They're both up today. Rent-A-Center has just done great, and the volume has been up as well on it. Don't know what the future portends for Rent-A-Center, but it seems to be doing well. Also in Mosaic, which is a very unsexy fertilizer company, but they seem to be doing good too. So I do have some bull call spreads and bull put spreads, both on Zoom, which I sent out in the email this morning. Interestingly enough, my break even on Zoom is 404, and by the time this is out, I was already at 407. So who knows? I may close this one early. I don't know, but it's looking fairly good. Also, Netflix. This is a long-term play. Basically, if Netflix moves in the next in the May time frame, if it moves above 580, and this is a call spread, so a little bit different than the Zoom, but it's up significantly today. So we'll see how that one does as well. And so it's looking fairly good out there right now. Well, let's get into the some of your questions. That's the most important thing, of course. And I'm going to open up a new window here with. There we go. And take a second for it to come up here and relaunch those charts. All right, great. Go to the full screen, getting all these things in there. So let's take a look at some of the questions. Thank you very much for holding on. And here we go. All right. Thanks so much. Hello, Jim. Well, thank you. I guess I don't know where you're. Hopefully, you're watching from India, a place that I always have wanted to go. Thank you for that comment. Very, very kind. Okay, Jim, do you think it's possible reversal on EXPI? Let's take a look, Kyle. At EXPI. Let's see. Of course, this is the parent company for Exit Realty and many of the other companies like that are sort of in the the realty space. And in certain markets in the U.S., we've had tremendous there's already homes to buy, and that's kind of, I don't know if that's good or bad. Sometimes that can be an issue, because even though you would think that would be great, sometimes it isn't. But this is the current chart. EXPI World Holdings basically made its all-time high basically back in mid-February at about 90.26. That was its all-time high. It has pulled back below the 10-day line, and it seems to have bounced basically right before it hit the 40-day. There we go. Right before it hit the 40-day, so it bounced above that. It seems to have gotten some support right about here, at about 57.25. Now the question is, will it move higher? Well, I wouldn't bet on it, because it looks as if this is a correct. This is a reversal, but really, I think we got to look to see If it moves above this line here, I think we might have a chance. But you know, I would consider a reversal if it was above 67.50. Right now it's up. It's up strongly, but we got to see how it's gonna trade tomorrow. Here's the thing: I would probably wait on this one until it probably retook the 10-day line. I don't know if you're in it or not. I don't. But I do think that the 10-day line is right about 68. So it doesn't really appear. The checklist looks good. It's 77%. The ownership is very good. 260 funds in it. So that's looking very strong. The industry, it's good. It's good, but not great. But it is a leader. So let's see. Let's just go over here kind of to the weekly chart to see kind of what the competitors are doing. Fathom Holdings, St. Joe Companies. It's a 95. This is a 99. We're really far extended on this. This is the only problem. The cup base on this was at 31.25. So, this is very extended right now based on what I'm seeing. So I think it's a little bit it's a little bit dangerous to possibly buy this at this point, because I still think it's a little bit too high. But it's been a great performer, so can't really discount it. Is there a possible reversal? Well, I think it's too late. I think it's too early to say. On the daily chart, let's see. Yeah, it's very early. I mean, if there was a reversal, it's going to be above the 10-day line. So here's the thing, Kyle. I think you got to wait a little bit on this one. I just do, because I think it might be it might be a reversal, but right now it's just I think you've got to wait for the 10-day line to move above 10-day line at, and I'm going to say, the 10-day line is right about at 71.50. So that's what I'm seeing anyways. So that's kind of the thing. I think you got to be a little bit I think you got to be a little bit careful. I would wait on this one. It's at 65, 64. Let's see how it moves. I want to see it move above the 10-day line. I want to see it retake that 10-day line. If it can retake the 10-day line, then I think it might be it might be a place to get back in it. If you're in it and you're not down any more than 7%, I would hold it, because it does look it might be reversing. If you're not in it currently, I would wait until it's above that 71.50. That's the 71.50. I think that's really the number on it that you've got to look at. So thank you very much, Kyle. Appreciate that. What review? Let's see. What is your views on the merger of ACIC with Archer and the electric? Boy, you know what? I think that the electric aviation industry overall is not ready for prime time. I really don't think so. I think I still think that it has to do with just, I think with drones it's gonna take off, but not with it depends on how you're looking at it. With drones, absolutely, because of the power to weight ratio. But with passenger and freight, I think it's still I think it's still the kerosene fuels. Let's look at BA just for fun. The Boeing. I think that I think Boeing is potentially a long-term. It's actually a long-term short. So I can't really say, but looking at Boeing, how Boeing is trading. Let's look at Boeing's weekly chart to kind of see. Yeah. I can't. I know we're talking about the merger here. I think I know we're talking about this merger, but Yeah. Well, let me look at ACIC. Just look at it on the technical merits here. Yeah, this is just there's not a whole lot here. I mean, it may be good. I mean, it's moved very nicely out of this flat base. 65 relative strength. It's a $12 stock, so I just don't know much about this one. Yeah, it doesn't seem. Yeah, it's 109, which there's 197 sectors. This is in the 109, so it's not in the top 60%, which is where I typically like to buy it. The checklist is not good. It's 33%. You know what? I just think that this is I think this one you just have to avoid. I think this is I think you just have to avoid this one. I think there's better fish in the ocean. It's not nothing, it just this I just think you have to avoid this one. I just don't think it's I just don't think it's good enough. Blank check company in the AV, he's just avoided. I think it's yeah, I just don't think it's the right thing, to be honest. So let's see about a question from TikTok. And I'm going through some of the questions here. Hold on. Here we go. What do you think of GameStop right now? Well, I think GameStop, GameStop changes every 5 minutes. I just don't think it's a good investment, and I'm not in it, so I can't really say that. The thing is, it's up today. It's up today relatively significantly. 15%. I mean, there could be another short squeeze on it. So I'm going to take a look at the short interest. Yeah, the short interest is very high. It's 35%. But I just wow, this is a tough one. They stopped trading on this one at Robinhood. By the way, well, I don't know if you know this, but Robinhood basically sells your information to the hedge fund so they can bet against you. I know that's not, I shouldn't say that, but it is absolutely true. So you better be careful on this one. I just, my view on GameStop is just, I think right now, at least until the market settles a little bit, I just think you want to avoid it if you can. I think you want to avoid. I just think you want to avoid GameStop because it just seems like it's not moving the right way. So let's get another question here. All right, this is the blank check company. I don't really particularly like blank check companies, only because they typically, you just don't know what they're owning yet. Let's look at MGA. MGA. Isn't that the MAGA? This isn't a bad company. This has real business. Of course, this is a Canadian firm, actually, I guess. And they are a totally outsourced, sort of like Flextronics or something like that. I mean, you can go to them and they absolutely can build a lot of things. Now, it does have relative strength moving up. I think that's excellent. It's 7 out of 9. I'm liking that. The funds are very strong in this one. And, look at that. Industry rank is 30. So it's definitely moving up. I do think that this definitely has legs because of, I mean, look at this trend line. It's beautiful. Just moving right up the trend from its breakout of its consolidation back in October of last year, the end of October, at 53.89. I mean, it broke out. I mean, it had essentially a handle here. This is really a kind of a cup with handle, but it had a handle, and then it broke out, and then it broke out again. So it does seem like it's getting a little bit of resistance. Basically at about 87. It's at 86 right now. So the question is, can it move beyond that? Well, there's not really an ideal place to buy this. It's not that far extended off the 10-day line, but it's extended. So I think you have to be a little bit careful. There is declining volume, and you have to watch that. So I just don't think, unless you're in it right now, I think you've got to be a little bit careful with MGA. I'd like to wait on this one and watch this one to see if it forms a base, because if this forms a base, then if this forms a base, this could be a very good buy. But right now, I think it's too extended. So I would watch this one and see if it forms a base. And what I mean, what I mean by base here is basically either a consolidation or a cup with handle, double bottom, cup without handle, maybe even a 3-week tight. I mean, it might do a 3-week tight, but right now I think you've got, unless you're in it, I think it's a little bit extended. So let's see if it'll form a base here. If it forms a base, I think this could be a tremendous. I think this could be tremendous, because as you can see, if we go back in time here, it's recently moved above its all-time high of about 80. Let's see, let me give that exact price there. Yeah, it's pretty much moved above its all-time high of about 66, 67. So it's performing very, very nicely. It had some excellent earnings. Their earnings were up 100% in the quarter of the year. And there was a significant amount of buying. I like to see that. This is a very good sign. Now, I do think it's going to consolidate, though. I probably wouldn't be a buyer at this moment. I want to see if the 10-day line will catch up with it. If it does, then I think you might have something. But you want to be a little bit careful in that you don't want to probably buy this one unless you're not in it right now. I don't think you necessarily want to buy this one, because it is extended and it can pull back on you. If though it does move above about that point, and that line is about 87.75, then I think that you could possibly buy it. But right now, let's see if it forms a tight pattern here, because it looks as if this is actually a very good sign. We're seeing decreasing volume. We're seeing decreasing volume here. So that means that the sellers are getting sold out, and we may only have strong hands in here. So here's what I would do. I would wait on this one, but if it moves above about this line, then I think we could do something here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and set an alert. Well, wait a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can set an alert at this level at I guess about 87.50. That's where I'm going to set my alert on that. I'm going to set that there, because I do think that if it moves above that, if that's for the alert there, then I think on strength right now it's looking like it's moving well on strength. Then it could be a breakout, but right now I think it's a little bit too early. Wait on this one and wait until it's broken out above about that 87.50. I mean, they're very close to that right now. So that might, but let's see how it performs over a period of a few days. Let's see how it does. Also, let's look at Fetch, FTCH. So let me look at Fetch really quick to see what we have there. FTCH. And Farfetch. Yeah, this is also a really good stock too. It's down a little bit today, obviously. Let's look at the weekly chart, kind of see if there's any entry. This is the thing about, this is what's so difficult about buying stocks that have this kind of, that have this kind of pattern. It's difficult because, we have this nice cut pattern, but then it got really far extended, and then now it's moved down below it, but it's hugging basically the 40-day line. So right now, the 40-day line is at 64.85, and it's just right at the 40-day line. But we have this extremely strong RS rating. Again, this is unfortunately just a kind of a wait see. I think what we have to do again is wait to see if this goes above 74.50, and so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go about 70, well, about 74. Okay, I'm going to say about 74.89, and then I'm actually going to set an alert at 74.50 on this one. I do think this can absolutely move above that price. Right now, it's getting a little bit of support here at the 40-day line. Let's kind of look to see if we have a channel here. Not really, if we really have it. Yeah, we kind of sort of have a channel here. I mean, it literally could move up this channel. But out of these two, I think Fetch is the better one. But I think both of them, you're just going to have to be. I think both of these you're just going to have to watch list right now to see if they move higher. I think that's going to be the most prudent thing to do. All right. BLI, positive earnings, stock sinking. This happens a lot, by the way. Say why would a stock sink after good earnings? You think, wow, why is that the case? Why would that be? Well, because in the earnings is built in all the hopes and dreams, and then when it becomes reality, then sometimes it doesn't work. It seems like it is like moving a little bit higher though, but this is not a chart I would buy, to be honest with you. It has a 4 relative strength, and it has a downward trend. Now this may reverse. It absolutely may reverse, but right now it's not. Right now the 40-day is above the 21-day, is above the 10-day. This says right here, unfortunately, that it's at least trending down. Now there has been some pickup in volume, so we may see a reversal, but I wouldn't buy this thing at this level. You're going to have to wait until it comes above probably the 40-day line, and that would be basically right here at about 81.50. If it moves above 81.50, which is not going to be easy because it's at 62.19, I don't really think it's viable right now. So, my opinion on it, unfortunately, is to avoid right now. I just think you got to avoid it. It's just one of those things. You got to avoid this one. So, sorry about that. Now, if you're down more than 7% on this one, please sell it, because that this one definitely could go lower based on what I'm seeing on this chart. So, any tips for this week? Well, good question. I think we're going to see a rebound this week. We've already started to see it. I was looking at the futures overnight, and I did become very bullish on Zoom in front of earnings. Now we'll see if I was right about this, but it's up, significantly. Also, did enter a bullish trade on Netflix, not cheap stock, but I did. That's why I used the. That's why I used options as opposed to buying the underlying shares this time, because I wanted to. But I do think that is looking fairly decent. We may have had a pullback, and it looks like it seems to be moving up a little bit. Now, here's the problem that we're having right now, and that is the market is still under pressure. There has been a little bit of not a correction, because the correction is a 10% from top to trough, but we have had a little bit of a pullback. So in a way, that's kind of good, because hopefully this will give a chance for some of the stocks that I like so much, the growth stocks, to form new bases. I mean, I think that's starting with Apple is really starting to happen. So I think that's a good trend. But this week, last week I was getting all into cash, and so this week I'm going to be starting to look for bases. I may not find a lot of bases, because we still may need to have stocks that firm up a little bit. But I have a feeling that we're going to see some good opportunities, but we just got to be patient. We just kind of got to be a little bit patient right now. Okay. What do you think about? Let's see. You think it'll be another correction American later this year? Yeah. There always are corrections. Absolutely, absolutely. There's always a correction around the corner. Stuff just doesn't go up straight line. It goes up and then it pulls back. It goes up, even in the best of the markets. Um, I don't think that we'll necessarily have a full on correction, and the reason is because I think the minute that it gets really going, we're probably going to see a lot of liquidity injected into the market via the Fed. So, the stimulus payments look like they're going to go out. I think that's kind of what kind of stopped the pullback in the market. The fact is people are going to get their stimulus payments. So I think there's going to be some more liquidity in the market. Now, long term, I don't think this is good, but at least for right now, it seems to be supporting the stock. So I do think we're going to see pullback in the market, but not right now. Not right now. It seems like every time we get close, the Fed will inject some money, and we just seem to go higher. So there you go. Okay, what's in place? By the way, if you're interested in my stock plays, I do some option plays, and right now I'm preserving my cash, waiting for some basing opportunities in some of the tech stocks, such as Tesla. I hopefully will be able to pull that. Right now it's pulling back. I'm totally out of Tesla currently, but I'm waiting for it to base. If it bases, I'm back in and going forward. But right now, I'm doing a lot of option plays. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, it's super easy to get involved, and all you have to do, and I send out these things basically all the time, and if you're subscribed to the action trade alerts, it's super easy to do. And if you're looking on TikTok, all you have to do is go to my profile, hit the link, and there's a little sign up thing, and you can get right on the action trade alerts and get the action trade alerts as they come out. I sent one out today, this morning actually, about 10 o'clock, I think, 10 o'clock Central, on Zoom, and then practically right after I made it made all the money. So sometimes you get lucky like that. But it's easy to do, and so subscribe for those free action trade alerts. And basically, if you're looking on YouTube, it's at www.Dallas Trading Floor. So thanks for that. All right. So next question. Thanks for holding on. Okay, this is an interesting one. Hi, Jim. Thoughts on ABST encryption software? Okay, well, I don't know this one. ABST, Absolute Software, and it's a relatively inexpensive stock. Let's look at the weekly chart to kind of get an idea. Yeah, this is essentially an IPO base. Yeah, okay, it's a cup, 7 weeks. Okay, 71. It's it's not quite there yet, but it's interesting. Let's see. Let's kind of look and see what the fund sponsorship is. It's just right now, it's just a little bit weak for me. Just a little bit weak with a 44 checklist, just not strong enough. The ownership in this, well, it's got 111 funds. That's very good. And the industry, it's good. It's 105. There's 197 funds. But right now, here's one thing I've got to indicate to everybody. There is a little bit of movement out of some of the software areas into some of the more real economy areas. One of the things I'm kind of looking at are some of the oil stocks. Now, I kind of got a look today at a I'm not really in any pure oil stock right now, but there is a stock that I do like, and it's Phillips 66 Refining, and I think that's PHX. I think that's it. I don't. Well, you know what? I can't remember. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that that symbol. Right. PSX. I should know this one because this is an old favorite. So PSX. There we go. Phillips 66. I don't know if you remember Phillips 66. One time it was a big deal. I don't think it is anymore. but it's moving very nicely. It's up $1.69 today, or about 2%. This area has been sort of beaten down, but as you can see, we're seeing some very nice, we're seeing some very nice volume spike here after a long time of kind of, I do think that this is lining up very nicely. Now, the relative strength of this is very low at 56, but remember, this is for an entire year. But we're starting to see on the relative strength line, we're starting to see it gain strength. Now, this is against the rest of the market. So it's been, so since basically earlier this year, since basically December, it has been gaining strength relative to the market. So I'm liking to see that. We still have some issues with profitability. As you can see, the profitability is down. That's mainly due to the price of oil and the COVID thing. But when we see a reopening, I do believe that this is very likely to be a real economy stock that is a real winner. It's still got a very weak checklist at 55. The ownership, though, is still good with the funds, but the industry and sector has definitely improved. I mean, this literally 3 months ago was just at the absolute bottom of the barrel. So the question is, which areas are we in? Well, the oil and gas seems to be doing very, very well. We seem to have much stronger relative strength in this area. So, I do think that this could stage. This is a watch list. This is, I'm not buying this yet, but if it moves decisively, and it looks like it has moved above its 200-day, above 40, and it's right on this. I mean, I think this is potentially buyable. I think this is potentially buyable above this level here, about 88.45. We're very, very close to that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set an alert here for 88.75 is where I'm going to set the alert, because I do think that if it moves above that, I think we could see a very strong recovery in this. And as you can see, we have a very nice channel here as well. So not a really great place to buy it, I'll be honest, because there's no real basing pattern here. But this is one, if you're looking in for a potential of a rotation play, this might be of interest. It might be of interest to you. All right, so let's look at MP for mining, and I kind of like your view here. I think that there is a rotation into some of the more real economy type stocks. This one has really moved up. This is a rare earth operation, and I don't know much about this one at all, but let's kind of take a look. It's got a relative strength of 97, which is very good, and for a miner, a 77 is quite good. I like this a lot. We have 65 funds in it, and the industry is number 4. See, that's another thing too. If you notice, the industry rank is very, very high in this one. This MP, this is definitely one that you might want to. It's extended, but there is a consolidation base on this at 40.74. So, that definitely shows strength. Wow. Here's the thing. I mean, it's extended right now, but this is definitely buyable. And, it's extended. So it's really a watch list, not a buy currently. But if this pulls back just a tad, this could be a very, very good. This could be very good. So, basically just, see if this forms a base, another base here. And if it does, then I think that, we might have a very good winner. But watch list this one right now. I think this is a great question. Thank you very much for this. These are the kind of stocks that you're going to see. Dinesh, I appreciate this question a lot, Dinesh, because I do think we're going to see a lot of movement into some of the more traditional plays, such as the mining, such as the oils, and I think this is an excellent. This is an excellent one. I do think that this would make an excellent watch list. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put it down on my watch list. MP Minerals. I like this one a lot. Thank you very much, Dinesh, for that. Very insightful. Very insightful. Apple and Microsoft. Let's take a look. Apple is finally awakening from its long slumber. Apple is a quality stock. There's just no way to to diminish Apple in any way. The biggest problem with Apple, I believe, is that it's just so widely held. I mean, that here's the thing, and here's the reason I think that people are part of the reason I think that may have moved Apple a little bit today is that there is they look like they're going to start doing a buyback of their shares. I mean, yeah, as you can see, they're up after hours too, and they were up strongly today. So it looks as if, yeah, they're going to do that. So I do think once we're going to retake the 40-day line, and that basically is is right basically at about 131.08. That's where I have an alert set. So I do think that's I think I do think we're going to see a movement back into that. They're going to do a buyback. That's what it looks like to be. Well, not what it looks like to be. That's what they've indicated. So I don't know exactly what the details of that yet. So just quickly look at Zoom, see how it's moved. Wowie kazowie! Look at that. It has moved tremendously. I didn't think it would be that good. I didn't think it that good, but it's looks like they might have had a good report. I don't know if they've reported yet or not, but yeah, looks pretty good. 446. Wow, that's up $37. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the trade put in. It was an options trade, so I only did 2 contracts. I always I don't never do enough, but on the contracts, but that looks like that's going to do well because it was a bull trade. So there we go. Okay, so let's see. Oh, hey, Microsoft, of course, my old friend, Mr. Softy, MSFT. Yeah, okay. It's right in the buy zone again. Yeah, it's right in the buy zone. Let's look at the daily chart to kind of see if oh yeah, look at that. Very nice. Yeah, this is totally viable right now. This is a very, very viable. Yeah, this is viable right now. Thank you for this. This is a good call. So this is viable. So this is the daily chart on it. It's right in the buy zone. It's come right up to the level, the alert level. It's right at the 21-day exponential. Even though the relative strength is 51, the trend line is pointing up. This is the RS line. We have strong buying here. This is probably a good entry point for. This is probably a very good entry point for Apple. Looks like. I mean, sorry, for Microsoft. Excuse me. This is probably a very good entry point for Microsoft. Let's take a look and just see the rating. 66. Okay, that's my minimum, so that's excellent. Look at those funds. Wow, 79.22. Geez, just dominant. Okay, the industry rank is low because the desktop software group is low. Here's the thing: I don't really totally agree with this. This sector, because Microsoft is so much more than just desktop software. So I can't totally agree with this, but I definitely agree with the checklist. I think that's excellent. So yeah, this is viable right now. I don't think you're going to have any problems with this one. I do believe that if it can hold the 232.86 level, that's this level right here, this consolidation level, if it can hold that, then it's going higher. So as long as the market just doesn't collapse, it's going higher. This is going higher. So out of those two, my view here is that I would buy Microsoft over Apple at this time. I just think it's stronger. And I mean, they're both good. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're both good. But right now, I just got to go with Microsoft. I just think it's yeah, it's definitely it's definitely there. All right, so let's look at some more questions. Thanks. Thoughts on Apple? Okay, I kind of think I think Apple is really good, but I think Microsoft is better right now. But let's look at Neo. Neo has been kind of suffering. These seem to all these EV stocks tend to trade. Sort of. They tend to trade kind of in packs. But let's look at Neo. Here's the thing: a little bit troubling about Neo. I mean, Neo has done well, and I have held it at but it does have right now. It has a downward trend. It still has downward trend. This is the weekly chart that we've got on this. It did pull back, and it looks like it is struggling to get to the 21-day line. It has earnings, and it's up on earnings. So, but I'm still not convinced because we're below the 40-day line. So I'm a little bit, I take a watch see on this one. I think you've got to. I think on this one. On Neo, I think you just have to be, you just have to watch this one and see if it moves above the 21-day line. That's kind of where I think it's got to go in order for it to work. I think this has to move above the 21-day line. That's this green line here, and it's right at the 21-day line. Let's see if it can move above it. It's gotten some nice after hours stuff, but it's still a watch list for me. It's still a watch list to be. Now, if you're in it, of course, and you have profits, just keep pushing that stop loss up. I think you're going to do well. I think it may have it may start its ascent once again, but it's been pulling back, and you can definitely see that on the daily chart. It tends to trade very similar to Tesla. So let me see if I can bring up the Tesla chart. TSLA, of course, is the symbol for Tesla, and there we go. Okay. Tesla is regained. Well, that's nice. Okay, 722. It sort of had fallen off the cliff there. I still don't think it's a reversal on Tesla yet. I definitely think it's going to have to move above this 40-day line before I'm really pretty interested in it. And then of course that for me, and I have a reactivated. Let's reactivate that stop loss. I mean that's an alert that I have on it. So I think the 40-day line is a key line for Tesla, and that's part of the reason why Neo is trading the way it is, trading down like this. So I think that there is going to be an opportunity on Tesla, but we need to see a reversal, and we're just not there. We're just not there. We got to be about at that 21-day line at the minimum. So if Tesla can retake the 21-day line with confidence, then I'm back in to Tesla and probably Neo as well, but they kind of tend to trade very similar to each other. So that's kind of the way. Thank you. Okay, let's look at Blink charging. And I was in Blink. I'm out of Blink just because it started to pull back. I may be back into Blink, but the trend in Blink is not what we want to see. The trend in Blink is a downward trend, and this is the trend here for Blink. So, again, it just until it retakes the 21-day or the 40-day, I just can't be interested in it. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna delete this, and I'm gonna reset my my line here. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm drawing a trend line. Yeah, and this is sort of the line. This is a potential trend line that if it moves above this is the reversal line. So let's see if I can set the alert on that reversal line. Okay, and what this does basically is if it moves above this trend line, then I'm potentially interested in looking at it. But currently, right now, Blink is even with its excellent rating, it's not viable. We're going to have to wait until it moves above that trend line. So thank you for that question, but I'm out of Blink right now only because I like the company. I just think it's pulled back. All right, question on it's ISRG. Is it ISRG? No. ISRG. There we go. Thanks. All right. Intuitive Circuits. Oh yeah, this is a great company. Intuitive Circuits. This is truly one of the great companies. The question is, can we buy it? Well, it looks as if it is definitely a reversal. It definitely looks as if it's a reversal. Let's see if we can mark the chart up here a little bit. Intuitive Surgical is one of the really best, really great companies out there. In case for those who haven't looked at this one, I'm switching here to the daily chart. There we go. I'm switching here to the daily chart to show you kind of where you might be. It's in a consolidation. Okay, it's called a flat base, but it's in a consolidation. There is a potential reversal, and it looks like it. It's early for this one, but I'm going to set an alert anyways. Well, it's really above that, isn't it? So I think this one actually might. Yeah, I don't know if it's that steep. Alert on that one. So here's the thing. I think it's moving up. It looks like it bounced at 735.64. So it looks like it's moving north of that. So I'm going to set an alert at that line to see if it moves above that line. But yeah, this is very good. This is very good. I mean, I definitely think it does have a low relative strength, but I think if this reverses, you could have a very good buy here. And I do think it looks like it's going to reverse here. This is probably a better options play, to be honest with you. This is probably a better option play. I do like it. If you're in it, don't get out of it. If you're waiting to come into it, I think we need to see a little bit more strength. I think for a reversal, and then I think we might have something really good here. It's a great company, and it's a great stock. All right, Harris, thank you. Neo earnings after the bell. Okay, let's look to see. A little bit of bandwidth constraint here. Let's see if I can get the bandwidth back. Okay, there we go. Let's look at Neo to see what their earnings are. See what happened with Neo. Kind of look to see on the news. All right, I'm just looking here. Okay, well, I don't know. Okay, well, some of these stocks are strong gains, so could be in there with that. Let's just see how it is. Looking down here, apps, Boeing. Yeah, well, look at that. Apple did very well. I can't see anything yet unfortunately, I can't give you anything yet for Neo. Harris, I'm gonna have to probably wait a little bit on that one. Have to wait a little bit for Neo. All right, let's see. CIN. Let's take a look. Chinese designer a Bitcoin. I don't know about this one. Well, interesting company, I have to admit. I mean, look at this: 99 relative strength with an upward trend. 66 relative strength. Okay, well that meets my minimum. Ownership 14 funds. Not a lot of funds in it, but some. Okay. It's 81 relative. I don't know about this one. Let's look at the weekly chart, see how old this thing is. Well, I can't say it looks like a climax top, but I can't tell you. On this one I don't know. I don't know on this one, Christian. I don't know. I would I'd just be a little careful. I would be a little careful. See if it bases. It's extended. So here's my quick take on that one. This is extended, of course. I think it may or may not form a base. So I'm just gonna say wait for base. Question mark. And these are so hard to tell. Some of these Chinese stocks are very tough because a lot of people get excited about them, and but I just think you got to wait for a base on this one. I can't I can't recommend it. I can't recommend it. It just looks a little bit too frothy for me. Okay, great. Let's look at Palantir, PLTR. And of course, I was in this one. I got shaken out of this. PLTR is the symbol. And well, we're sort of coming back. It's off after hours. I don't know. This one's kind of been struggling as of late. We still have a very strong relative strength at 90. So that's good. But and we're still in the consolidation range. But I don't think this is viable until I just don't think this is viable until we can get until we can get back to this level. So I'm gonna reset my alert here, but I'm gonna set it basically right at this level, right at right at the 40-day line, because I think that's really the only place that we can really do anything. So I'm going to see what that 40-day line is. It's the 2850. So that's where I'm going to set. That's where I'm going to set the alert at 2850. Because I think at that level, if it moves above that level, then I'm a little bit more confident. But right now, I think it's still pulling back. As you can see by this relative strength line, it's pulled down and it's pulling up. So we do have a lot of selling going on here. And but we do seem to we're starting to have some lower supply, so it may move up a little bit. Let's just take a look at some of the checklists. Yeah, this checklist is still good at 66%. We're in the ownership is still very good. 142 is excellent. Unfortunately, I don't like the fact that the rank has fallen so much. Part of this is because we're having rotation to some of the more cyclical stocks. This is why I think that it bears repeating that I think that you ought to look at some of the mining and possibly oil stocks, because there is a strong rotation into these right now, and I think you could. They're not going to fly to the moon, but they might be very good. PSX, that's Phillips 66 refining. I think that one has some legs, even though it doesn't have quite the specs that some of the other ones have. But yeah, so there you go. All right, so let's look at SNDL. Okay, well, let's look at SNDL. SNDL. And again, Sundown, goodness gracious. Okay, medical. Okay, you know what? No prediction on this one. Yeah, just no prediction. I just can't. These are very hard. These are too thin. It just doesn't trade enough shares to be to be there. I just oops, did I get the right one? No, I didn't. Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can do anything with this one. It's just a thin stock. And here's the thing: you might want to look at potentially on this one instead of this one. Let me just see how MJ is doing. This is an ETF that has a basket of these. If you want to be in this business, I think that this might be a whole lot better way to play it. and that's what this. It's an ETF called MJ, and it's much wider in terms of its coverage here. So this is what I would recommend, is taking a look at this one. Unfortunately, right now it did have a consolidation base at 1534, but it's extended too. So not as easy, not that easy, and it's moved down since I haven't really been in this in about 3-4 years. 3-4 years ago, this I did very well with this, but the cannabis market has not been as good. Except for a few ones like Tilray, has not been as good as many people expected. So there's a lot of small companies in there, especially in Canada, and it's a little bit difficult. Okay, so let's take a look at BB. All right, this is one of the kind of the short squeeze type stocks, Blackberry. It's funny because I have a friend actually that is at Blackberry. Can you believe it? This one had this. Let's look at the short interest on this. Wow, this has got a lot of short interest. 58% of these shares are short. Yeah, this potentially could be another short squeeze. I just can't say. I just can't say. I have to do some more research on this one. I can't really give you any good thoughts on that. Really, that's too bad. I just can't really see it. Let's see. AON. Thoughts on AON? Well, AON is a great company. It's one of the largest insurance companies in the world. But in terms of the stock, I can't see it being really that exciting. I think there's a lot better places. It's not revolutionizing anything. They're just big. And they're very solid, but I can't really see them being a terrifically good a good stock. I'm a little bit it's got a 55, which for a stock like this, I can't see this one being a really, really good. Yeah, see, it's 163 out of 197 sectors. I just don't think that. It's you're not going to probably lose any money. It's right above a buy point, but I don't see AON as being really a very good play. Well, after I've trashed everybody, and I don't mean to do that, I really appreciate everybody coming in with their questions. Everybody's question is excellent, and I really, really appreciate it. Well, it's the end of an hour, so I've got to sign off here. But I'll be back tomorrow at 2:30. And so if you have any questions, just either you could put them on the show, or you could just go directly to DallasTradingFloor.com, and we do have a little thing where you just send a question in there, and I'll try to answer it as best I can. And also, I would love it, of course, if you subscribe to the YouTube show, because that always helps us tremendously. And of course, like it. We like it when you like us. So that's also good. And if you're so inclined, sign up for the Action Trade Alerts, and we do put out some. If I do say so myself, I think we put out some pretty good trades. And of course, it's all free. So until tomorrow at 2:30, happy trading.